Hello students, I am Saloni Siddha, Faculty of English from Resonance. Today we are going to study second chapter of your module, the sentence. Now you all know what is a sentence. A sentence is a basic grammatical unit which contains a group of words and expresses a complete thought. You can say that a sentence is a group of words, means a set of words, and it is arranged in such a manner which gives a complete meaning or which has a complete thought. So how do you arrange these set of words? You arrange them in a logical manner so that you derive a logical meaning out of that sentence. So let's have a look. A sentence is a group of words which makes complete sense. It should make a sense. If it is not making any sense, then it is not a logical sentence. A sentence must contain a subject. Now these are the important things that should be there in a sentence. A subject must be there, a verb must be there, although one may be implied. Now any sentence, if it lacks a verb or a subject, it is not logical. Okay, there has to be these two things. So these are the things that create a sentence. Now man is a social animal by nature. You can see here man is the subject and is the helping verb. Okay, honesty is the best policy. Honesty is the subject. Vishakhapatnam is a steel city. Vishakhapatnam is the subject and is the verb that we are using. So we must understand that a sentence should always give a logical meaning. Now a sentence is a sequence of words. As I told you that we have to arrange in a logical manner. So the sequence should be according to that only, which begins with a capital letter. The very important point, always begin the sentence with a capital letter, never start it with a small letter. Then it ends with a full stop or question mark or exclamation mark. So at the end you have to always punctuate it properly. Always use a punctuation mark in the end of a sentence. If it is a question, you will use a question mark. If it is a general sentence, you will use a full stop. If it is a sudden emotion or a feeling that is being conveyed, then you will use exclamation mark. Then comes, it forms a complete thought. Now every sentence will have a complete thought. It should make sense. It contains a verb. We have already discussed these points. Now comes the 5 kinds of sentences. There are 5 main categories, namely the first one is declarative sentence, second one is interrogative sentence, third is imperative, fourth is exclamatory, and fifth is optative. Now these are very important. We will use all these types of sentences in grammar. So to understand grammar, means each and every topic of grammar, you need to have a clear understanding of all these types of sentences. So let's understand what is a declarative sentence. Declarative sentences are those that state or declare something. Okay, now whenever you speak something, आप जब भी कोई भी बात बोलते हैं, ठीक है, for example I said my name is Saloni. So what is this? Which kind of a sentence? This is a declarative sentence. Okay, I declared that I am Saloni. So it declared something, you can say. That is why we call it declarative sentence. These are also known as assertive sentences. इनका दूसरा नाम है declarative sentence को हम assertive भी बोलते हैं. So the earth moves around the sun. This is again an assertive sentence. It is again a declaration. Delhi is the capital of India. Let's have a look at the second category of a sentence, interrogative sentence. Interrogative is that sentence, or you can say arrangement of words in such a manner which gives a logical meaning and it is in form of a question. Okay, so if we talk about interrogative sentence, it will always ask a question. Okay, and if a question is there, then you have to put a question mark in the end. So what do you want? This is an interrogative sentence because it is in form of a question. Remember one thing, such sentences will always begin with a helping verb. Interrogative sentences always begin with a helping verb. So you can notice over here, the first word in each sentence is a helping verb. Here what is the helping verb? In the next sentence, do you know English? We have placed the question marks in the end, but in the beginning, do is again a helping verb. Then have you ever been? So have is also a helping verb. Now how do we decide this helping verb? We decide the helping verb according to the number and person of the subject. If the subject is singular, then we will use singular helping verb. If the subject is plural, then we will use a plural helping verb. Accordingly, we will apply this. Then the next category of sentence is imperative sentence. Imperative sentences are basically the commands, request, entreaty, suggestion. Now what are these basically? Whenever you place an order, whenever you give an order, whenever you instruct someone or command someone, okay, all these are what? These come under the category of imperative sentences. It does not only include command, instructions or orders. It includes several other things like suggestion. Whenever you place a suggestion, for example, you say you should brush your teeth daily or you should exercise regularly. You are suggesting your friend to read a book. So, such sentences are also imperative sentences. Then comes request. Okay, many times we people request some other person to do something for us. So, what kind of a sentence do we use while making a request? So, that is an imperative sentence. I'll give you some examples. If I say, kindly help me, kindly help me, what kind of a sentence is it? It is a request. I am requesting you to help me. So, this is an example of request. It is an imperative sentence. If I talk about suggestion, see here some examples are given. If we talk about request, please post the letter. This is a request. Could you lend me 50 rupees? Now this is a declarative imperative sentence. Next one, could you lend me 50 rupees? This is also a request. Okay, यहाँ पर भी हम request कर रहे हैं. May I use your phone? This is also a request. ठीक है, तो ये आते हैं under this category. Then command. Command means जब आप किसी को कुछ कहने के लिए बोल रहे हैं, करने के लिए बोल रहे हैं कि ऐसा करो, ठीक है, आपने इंस्ट्रक्शन दिया, दैट इज कमांड. मीन्स यू गेव एन ऑर्डर और इंस्ट्रक्शन टू समवन, दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ कमांड. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, डोंट स्मोक इन द रूम. नाउ दिस इज द इंस्ट्रक्शन गिवन, सो यू हैव टू फॉलो इट. देन स्टॉप देयर, वहीं रुक जाओ. तो ये क्या है? ये भी एक कमांड है, इंस्ट्रक्शन है. ब्रिंग द बुक टुमारो. ओके, सो ऑल दीज आर व्हाट? दीज आर imperative sentences. So all these sentences will be used further in different chapters when we are going to study active and passive voice, whenever we will study direct and indirect speech. You know, in the whole syllabus of grammar, you will make use of all these sentences. So it's very important to understand that how to identify which sentence is imperative, declarative, interrogative and the rest. Next comes the suggestion. Suggestion, whenever you suggest anything, जब भी आप कोई सलाह देते हो, that is suggestion. So you should help the poor. यहाँ पर एक सलाह दी गई है. Should is a verb which represents suggestion. Actually should एक model verb है जो कि suggestion बताने के लिए काम में आता है. So this sentence is suggestion, so it is imperative sentence. You had better consult a physician. अच्छा होता कि आप एक physician को consult कर लेते, ये भी एक तरह का suggestion है. So this is also an imperative sentence. What about a cup of tea? Now here कैसा रहेगा कि हम एक चाय का कप मंगवाएं. सो ये भी एक तरह का सजेशन है कि चाय का कप कैसा रहेगा, ठीक है. सो ऑल दीज आर इम्पेरेटिव केसेस. नेक्स्ट वन इज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, एक्सक्लेमेटरी सेंटेंस. नाउ व्हेनेवर यू लुक एट समथिंग, you give a sudden emotion out of it, right? Suppose you got hurt, what do you say? Ouch, it hurts. If you liked a particular painting, or suppose you got impressed looking at the scenery, how do you react at that particular instant? Means a spontaneous reaction comes out of you. So suppose you are at Kashmir, so looking at those mountains and all those valleys, rivers and all that, all of you suddenly react looking at something very beautiful. So how do you react? You say, wow, such a nice thing, such a pleasant atmosphere, such a nice feeling it is. So all these words like wow, hey, ouch and all those things, so whenever any sudden emotion is being expressed, that they are all exclamatory sentences. So they express some strong or sudden feeling. You can also say this express the strong emotions of a person. So they are exclamatory sentences. For example, what a beauty, बहुत खूबसूरत चीज़ आपको दिख गई है, तो आप उसकी तारीफ करते हैं अचानक से उसको देखते. So this is exclamatory sentence. Then how happily they are living, कितना खुश रह रहे हैं वो लोग, ये भी आपका एक सडन एक स्ट्रॉन्ग इमोशन है कि आप किसी को देखकर बोल रहे हैं कि वो कितना खुशी से रह रहे हैं. तो बहुत स्ट्रांगली आपने अपना इमोशन रखा तो यू विल मेक यूज ऑफ exclamatory sentence. Point to be noted is that you have to always use an exclamatory mark in the end of the such sentences. In the end of the question interrogative sentences, you will always place question mark. It is the punctuation mark. Similarly, which punctuation mark will be used in case of exclamatory sentences? You will use an exclamation mark. So this is basically the exclamatory mark. Now the next and the last category of sentence is optative sentence. Now these are again very interesting. A sentence that expresses a wish. जब भी आप कोई wish रखते हैं, wish क्या होता है? कोई भी चाहत है आपकी, कोई भी desire है आपका, supposition or any probability. What is a probability? Whenever you expect something to happen or not to happen. Okay, so that is probability. मतलब किसी चीज़ के होने का आप अंदाज़ा लगा रहे हैं कि ये होगा नहीं होगा, that is probability, chances. Supposition कि अगर ऐसा होता तो, suppose कर रहे हैं आप. So all such sentences are optative sentences. Let's have an example. Let's have a look at the examples. May the Almighty help in this tragedy. भगवान इस मुसीबत में हमारी मदद करें. What is tragedy? Tragedy means बुरा समय, मुसीबत, mishap. So may the Almighty help in this tragedy means you are wishing that may God help in this trouble. Then may God help you in your attempt. यहाँ पर भी आप wish कर रहे हैं कि भगवान आपकी help करें. I wish he would be with us. यहाँ पर भी आपकी wish आ रही है. Then comes the ask yourself exercises. You have to identify the types of sentences given over here. So the first one, give this letter to my brother. Now give this letter to my brother. This is an instruction. Okay. So I told you what are instructions. We read over here. See, command. These are imperative cases. Okay. These are imperative cases. Command, request, suggestion, and all these things. So first one is imperative. Then what a fine evening. Again, you can see the question mark. Hints are always available in the sentence. So this is a sudden emotion. So this is an exclamatory sentence. May God bless you. Again, it is optative because you are wishing for someone. May God bless you is optative because you are wishing for someone. Then where did you go yesterday? This is an interrogative sentence. Then I saw this film last year. Now this is a declarative sentence because you are declaring a fact over here. Then comes the parts of a sentence, very important thing. So I told you in the beginning of this chapter when I initiated, a sentence will always have a subject, a verb, okay, but what are the other parts of the sentence? What terminology that we use to call, what terminology is used? So there are three main parts of a sentence: subject, predicate, and object. What is a subject? It is the noun or word group acting as noun that performs the action expressed in the predicate of a sentence. Means जिसके बारे में बात हो रही है वो subject है. For example, the black and white dog was barking at the stranger. So here किसके बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं? जिसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं वो हमारा subject है. So the black and white dog are two subjects of which we are talking. Okay, यहाँ पर दो subjects की बात हो रही है तो दोनों ही हमारे subject हैं. They are connected using and. Okay, so don't get confused that there should be only one subject. No, there can be more than one subjects in a sentence. जिसके भी बारे में बात हो रही है वो है हमारा subject. कोई भी noun होगा वो या फिर कोई भी group of word होगा वो, ठीक है, which acts like a noun. Then comes the next part. What is the next part? Predicate. Predicate होता है जो हमारा remaining sentence होता है, ठीक है. Predicate is part of the sentence that says something about the subject. अब जिसके बारे में बात हो रही थी वो तो था हमारा subject. Predicate वो होता है जो subject के लिए कहा जा रहा है, ठीक है. अगर हमारा subject था the dog, the white dog and black dog, जो भी थे वो, उनके बारे में हमने क्या बात कही वो पूरी बात हमारा predicate होगा, ठीक है. सो यहाँ पर हैरी ate his apple लिखा हुआ है तो जिसके बारे में बात हो रही है वो है हैरी, ठीक है. तो हैरी हो गया हमारा सब्जेक्ट. अब हैरी के बारे में क्या बात कही जा रही है? ही ate his apple. तो ate his apple वाली बात हमने कही. दिस इज आवर predicate. सो दिस इज वेरी सिंपल. यू कैन ईजिली आइडेंटिफाई सिंपल थिंग्स इन हिंदी. आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग. जिसके बारे में बात हो रही है वो सब्जेक्ट और जो बात कही जा रही है सब्जेक्ट के बारे में वो है predicate. Then the dog has been sniffing. So again here the dog is the subject and has been sniffing, which has already been given in bold over here. This is the predicate. So you can say principal part of the predicate is the verb. अगर आप ध्यान दें तो सब्जेक्ट में तो नाउन आता है, ठीक है, या फिर कोई प्रोनाउन आएगा, बट इफ़ यू टॉक अबाउट प्रेडिकेट, प्रेडिकेट में क्या चीज़ आएगी? प्रेडिकेट में जो मेन चीज़ होती है वो है वर्ब. वर्ब जनरली आपको मिल जाएगा प्रेडिकेट में. यू कैन सी एट हिज एप्पल, एट था वर्ब, तो यहाँ पर मेन जो पर्टिकुलर था हमारे प्रेडिकेट का वो थी वर्ब. हैज़ बीन स्निफिंग, तो यहाँ पर भी स्निफिंग जो है हमारी वर्ब, ठीक है. सो प्रिंसिपल पार्ट होता है वर्ब एक प्रेडिकेट का. लेट्स सी व्हाट एल्स इज गिवन ओवर हियर. इन अदर वर्ड्स द पार्ट ऑफ द सेंटेंस दैट इज नॉट द सब्जेक्ट. अगर सिंपल वर्ड्स में मैं बोलूँ, बहुत ही सिंपल वर्ड्स में जिसको अभी तक कुछ समझ नहीं आया कि मैम क्या बोल रही है, प्रेडिकेट क्या होता है, तो उसके लिए एक सिंपल सी लाइन ये है कि जो सब्जेक्ट होता है उसके अलावा जो भी लिखा है सेंटेंस में वो प्रेडिकेट है, ठीक है. या फिर सेंटेंस में वो वाला पार्ट जो कि सब्जेक्ट नहीं है वो प्रेडिकेट है. सो अगेन वेरी सिंपल. A predicate can be one word or several words, not all of which are verbs. अब ज़रूरी नहीं है कि predicate में सिर्फ verbs ही होती हैं, दूसरे words भी होते हैं. It consists of different parts of speech. I've already explained you what are different parts of speech. Okay, 8 to 9 we studied. 8 parts of speech I taught you. So if you see here, Harry ate his apple. ठीक है, यहाँ पर देखेंगे the dog has been sniffing, तो यहाँ पर ये भी verb है, ये भी verb है, ये भी verb है, और predicate हमारा ये वाला part है. तो इसमें तो तीनों verbs लगी हुई हैं, ठीक है. बट इट इज़ नॉट नेसेसरी दैट predicate only consist verb. We can have other parts of speech. Look at first example. He ate his apple. Here ate is the verb, but his is a pronoun, and then apple is again a noun. So here predicate consisted different parts of speech. So this statement is justified. Okay. Not all of which are verbs. So this statement is justified. You can see this example number 1. The next part of the sentence is the object. These are the three main parts of a sentence: subject, predicate and object. Now why object? Object ही क्यों हम इसको important मानते हैं कि इसके बिना sentence अधूरा है? A word or a group of words which is used after a transitive verb is called an object. जब भी transitive verb के बाद में कोई भी word लगता है या कोई भी group of words लगते हैं तो वो होता है हमारा object. अब ये transitive verbs, intransitive verbs हमने पढ़ा है, ठीक है, previous classes में. In class 5th we read about it. Now there are two types of objects. Now this is something new for you. We are reading the third important element of a sentence. Now this part of sentence, it is further divided into categories. The first category is direct object and the next category is indirect object. If we talk about the direct one, the thing is the direct object. Please note over here, the thing is the direct object. For example, I wrote a letter. I is the subject because we are talking about it. जिसकी बात हो रही है वो subject होता है, तो I की बात हो रही है, I subject है. उसके बाद क्या होता है, wrote a letter क्या है, predicate है. लेकिन ये predicate अलग अलग part of speech से बनता है. So wrote हो गया हमारा verb and a letter जो है ये हमारा noun है, लेकिन but this a letter is the object. So if you talk in general, a sentence consists three main things. For example, subject, then verb and then object. तो यहाँ पर I ये हो गया हमारा subject, फिर wrote हो गई हमारी verb और a letter जो है ये हो गया हमारा object. तो ये तीन मेन चीज़ें होती है एक सेंटेंस को बनाने में जो काम आती है. Then we saw a snake. So here again we is subject, saw is a verb and a snake is the object. Then comes the indirect object. अभी तो हमने पढ़ा डायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट. डायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट क्या था, जो कि थिंग था. कोई भी थिंग की बात हो रही है तो वो डायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट. अब इनडायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट कौन होगा? इनडायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट में ये तो समझ आ रहा है जो डायरेक्ट है वो इनडायरेक्ट तो होगा नहीं. तो अगर डायरेक्ट हमारा थिंग है तो इनडायरेक्ट थिंग तो हो नहीं सकता. ठीक है. सो लेट्स सी व्हाट इज इनडायरेक्ट. द पर्सन टू हुम समथिंग इज गिवन और फॉर हुम समथिंग इज डन इज कॉल्ड द इनडायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट. तो द पर्सन यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है जिसके लिए कुछ जिसको हमने कुछ दिया या फिर जिसके लिए कुछ किया गया, ठीक है, वो हमारा इनडायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट है. सो इन सिंपल वर्ड्स द पर्सन इज द इनडायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट एंड द थिंग इज डायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट. तो ये सबसे सिंपल एक ही वर्ड का आंसर है हमारे पास. डायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट मतलब कोई चीज़, इनडायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट मतलब कोई इंसान, पर्सन. See the example over here to make it more clear. I gave him a book. So here I is the subject, gave is the verb. अब यहाँ पर him भी लिखा हुआ है and a book भी लिखा हुआ है. So you can see over here that there are two objects. This is him is first object and a book is second object. तो आप यहाँ देखें him जो है वो first object है. अब मैंने कहा था कि कौन सा direct है और कौन सा indirect है. डायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट तो वो है जो थिंग है, तो अ बुक इज अ थिंग, सो दिस इज डायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट. एंड जो पर्सन है वो होता है हमारा इनडायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट. तो हिम क्या है, पर्सन है, सो दिस इज इनडायरेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट. सो सब्जेक्ट, वर्ब एंड ऑब्जेक्ट बन गया हमारा सेंटेंस. सी द नेक्स्ट वन. आई रोट हर अ लेटर. अगेन वी हैव टू ऑब्जेक्ट्स ओवर हियर. आई इज सब्जेक्ट, रोट इज वर्ब, एंड देन हर इज द थिंग, हर इज द पर्सन, सो इट इज indirect object, and a letter is a thing, so it is direct object. So again we have object number 1 and object number 2 over here. Again point to be noted, whenever we see indirect object we will mostly see a pronoun over here. You will always see a pronoun over here in indirect object because it is a person, but there can be some name also, no doubt. It is not that only pronoun, it can be any noun as well. Again you have some questions, have a look. Separate the subject and predicate in the following sentences. Here you have to separate them, okay. The classification should be on the basis of the different parts of a sentence. So nature is the best physician. Here nature is the subject क्योंकि इसके बारे में बात हो रही है, ठीक है. And then is the best physician, ये बात subject के बारे में कही गई है, so is the best physician is the predicate. Then prevention is better than cure. अब यहाँ पर prevention की बात हो रही है, ठीक है. ये हो गया हमारा subject, is better than cure, ये हो गया हमारा predicate, क्योंकि जो बात कही गई है prevention के लिए वो हमारा पूरा predicate form करेगा. Mother Teresa is a great social worker. Mother Teresa subject and is a great social worker is predicate. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Now here what is the subject? Till now you have seen that only one word that we are talking about is the subject. No, it is not always necessary that only one word will make a subject. A subject can be more than one word. I told you there were two subjects also. Identify over here what is the subject. A thing of beauty is a joy forever, so means we are talking about a thing of beauty. So that whole forms a subject. ये पूरा हमारा subject है, a thing of beauty. इस पूरे के बारे में बात कही जा रही है. अब क्या बात कही जा रही है इस पूरे के बारे में, वो हो जाएगा हमारा predicate. So it is a joy forever, this is predicate, and this entire block part is our subject, a thing of beauty. Then man is a social animal by nature. अब man की बात हो रही है तो this is subject. क्या बात कह रहे हैं man के लिए, is a social animal by nature, this is predicate. So this is very simple, and here we have reached the end of the chapter. Something is given for your additional knowledge. Two things to remember about an interrogative sentence. दो बातें जो हमें interrogative sentence के बारे में याद रखनी है. In an interrogative sentence we put the auxiliary verb before the subject. I have already told you this point when I taught you what are interrogative sentences. Here auxiliary verb, this is another name for helping verb. Auxiliary verb is another name for helping verb. Okay, तो helping verb को हम auxiliary कि आप इंटेरोगेटिव सेंटेंस हमेशा एक हेल्पिंग वर्ब से स्टार्ट करेंगे, उसको हम ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब भी बोलते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल व्हाट डू यू वांट, तो व्हाट, ठीक है, उसके बाद डू, व्हाट था हमारा इंटेरोगेटिव वर्ड, ठीक है. उसके बाद हमने डू हेल्पिंग वर्ब जिसको हम ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब भी बोलते हैं. व्हाट डू यू वांट, ठीक है, ये था हमारा क्वेश्चन. तो ये है हमारा इंटेरोगेटिव सेंटेंस. तो आप देखेंगे वी पुट ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब बिफोर द सब्जेक्ट. यहाँ पर सब्जेक्ट क्या है, यू हमारा सब्जेक्ट है, ठीक है. तो जो ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब है जिसको हम हेल्पिंग वर्ब भी बोलते हैं वो हमेशा सब्जेक्ट के पहले लगेगी. तो यहाँ पर डू है हमारी ऑक्सिलरी वर्ब, तो वो सब्जेक्ट के पहले लगी है. This is point number 1. Second point, we put a question mark, okay, a mark of interrogation भी बोलते हैं हम इसको, question mark को क्या बोलते हैं हम question mark को? A mark of interrogation. It is used at the end of the interrogative sentence. So यहाँ पर हमने question mark लगा दिया है. This is point number 2. So already I explained these both of these points. Next is just the concept map. Here your chapter gets over. I hope you have understood. Thank you for watching.